Hello, my name is Jordan Kolb and we will be doing a tutorial on how to use FMOD Studio to incorporate footsteps into your Unreal projects. So, first we're going to open up our tutorial folder, which is called Footstep Tutorial. And before you do anything else, you're going to make sure you go to Preferences, you're going to go to Build, and you need to be sure that you're building it to the right place, which is the Content folder of the project you're working on. Not config, content. You have to create an FMOD folder yourself, and this is where all of your banks are going to go into. So we're going to open it here. And now that that's good, we're going to close. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create a new event. Our first event sound is going to be walking. So we're going to name this folder walking. Cool. It says here, it says unassigned. All this means is that simply it's not assigned to any bank at the moment, and we want it to be assigned to the master bank. So we click Assign to Bank, and we click Master Bank. Now, everything's good on this end. So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to click here, and we are going to, let's see, where are we? Ah, here we are. So we're going to go here, and we're going to do Add Multi-Sound. Well, here I'll do first. I will show you what happens when we add our normal sound. So here's our sound folder, and this is on an external hard drive. If you're doing sound, you're going to want to make sure all of your sounds are on a different folder. So first one I'm going to do is a foot walk, and here I'm going to play it. It's just a standard footstep with shoes on hitting a surface. So I'm going to drag it in here, and here we have our audio file. Sounds alright, but the problem is that when we're walking, we're not going to want to play the same sound over and over again. That's going to sound really, it's going to get really old after a while. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to right click and do a thing called Add a Multi-Sound. Now the multi-sound, if you see here, has a playlist where we drop our sounds. So I have multiple walking sound effects, each one individual footstep, all of which sounds slightly different. And we're going to, if my computer would cooperate, we're going to drag it in here. So now we have 3 sound effects in here. You have footwalk 2, and footwalk 4. I got rid of footwalk 3. So now it sounds like, now you see that every single time I play it, it's playing a different sound effect. This dice symbol shows that it's playing one of them randomly each time that I press it, but it's never going to play the same one twice. If I were to press this one instead, it would just simply play it in a row. So it's good to keep it randomized. Another thing you could do is change the pitch. So if I click on this right here, this knob, I could raise the pitch for all of the sounds. Now this is good just in general, but I feel like you're going to lose fidelity of the sound once you start reaching 3 decibels less or higher. So it's best to just keep it within 3 semitones less or higher. But another way you can add randomization, hold Option and click, and this creates a bar that you can use to create a certain range that will have it randomly select a certain semitone difference and then apply it to the sound. So now each of our sounds has just a little more randomness to it. We're going to name this footstep. Next, if we want to add another sound on top of it, we go to Add Audio Track. Now this time, we are going to add the creaking of the floor under. So we're going to do wood creak. Oh yes. So here I have a project, it's all wooden. So our environment is walking on a wooden surface. And if we were using different surfaces, we would denote it here. So this one would be walking wood. So I have creaking sounds right here. They're pretty quiet, it's hard to hear. So we're going to put this right in here. I feel like the original footstep's a little too loud, so we're going to lower it a bit. We're going to increase the volume of the creak. That's pretty good. We can bring it back down to 0. So again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit pitch, and we're going to adjust it. Now, since we're doing a walking sound effect, we're probably going to want to have the creak be higher because you're only lightly stepping on the wood. So we're going to raise this a little bit. And to hear the wooden creak sound effect by itself. There we go. That sounds pretty good. Still, original footstep sound effect sounds a little too loud. Next, we're going to add another audio track. We're going to add the clothes rustling. When you're doing Foley for sound, you're always going to want to make sure you have good cloth sound effects. This is going to be really hard to hear with this microphone. I apologize, but just believe me that these will definitely help when creating a good, rich sound effect. So again, we're going to do the same thing. Drop cloth in. This is add a little bit more. So here we're going to solo it. We're going to raise it to 10 so you can hear. So let's lower it back down to 0. Now, if I don't happen to like one of the sounds, like one of these, that one sounds a little out of the ordinary. I could actually click here and find which one it is that I don't like. So let's get rid of that. This one doesn't even have a sound. You could also increase the individual pitch for each of these. So if I think this one's a little too low, I could raise this pitch by 2 semitones. So it sounds more in line with the rest of the cloth sounds. So now we have a sound effect that sounds like this. Sounds pretty good. And if we want to add one more thing into here to make it just a little bit more professional sounding, we could add a cloth jingle. That's if, you know, our character happens to be wearing heavy clothes, is like an army character, you know. So we're going to go here, and we're going to highlight those, create another multi-sound, and drop them into the playlist. Where is it? There we go. And these are pretty rough, so I'm definitely going to lower the volume of this one. This one's really loud. Also going to lower the volume of this one a little bit, but not as much. As you can tell by the waveforms, just how loud they are. And the pitch of this one should go up a little bit to 3 semitone. Same with this one. Okay. Same, I'm going to change the pitch a little bit. And together, now that we have our walking sound effect, we are going to save, and we are going to, we're going to build. So if everything went right, when we press build, as you see it says reloaded FMOD banks in Unreal Engine 4, that means this is basically has confirmation that the footstep sound has been added. So let's go back in here and do another one. So we're going to go to a new event, and we're going to call this running wood. Actually, we're going to copy this because this would make it a lot quicker. We're going to rename this to running wood. So now this is called running wood, and we're going to assign it to the master bank as usual. And so now this is pretty much almost the exact same sound, except it's going to be a running sound effect. So this time the cloth is going to be a lot louder. The jingling can also become a lot louder. Let's see. Jingling could also get a little bit louder. You can also lower it in pitch a little bit. Give it more of that running sound effect. And the walking sound effects. Normally what you'd want to do is have a running sound effect recorded and a walking sound effect recorded. But in this case, I don't have two different ones, so we're just going to have to make do. And we're going to lower the pitch a little bit in total. So now, let's see, make this a little louder. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. I'm going to lower this by 5 as well. Okay, so now that we have our running and our walking sounds, we can go into Unreal. So, what we're going to do here is we need to access the animations folder in our character mannequin. So here we have all of the animations: jump, idle, end, another jump, loop, jump, start, run, and walk. So let's start in the walk sound effect. Here we have, here we have our mannequin walk cycle. So we're going to want to look at their feet and go frame by frame when their foot hits the ground. So right here, we're going to go up to this part in the notifies and go to add notify and click on new notify. We're going to call this walk sound, and my computer is not liking this. So we're going to go to walk sound, and we are going to go to blueprints, and we're going to go to the event graph, which we are currently on. Alright. I am not using a mouse right now because both of my USB slots are full, so we're just going to go by feel and click on add anim notify event. Click this, and now we have our event anim notify walk sound. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to connect this to the play event attached. So here we go. We click play event attached, and since now we have to now see we forgot to build it again. So we hit build, reloaded FMOD banks, And now we have running wood. So we're going to go to attach a component, and we're going to go to get owning component, which is the animation. Not run sound, I'm sorry, I meant walk sound. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back. Now we have that, we're going to compile. We're going to hit save. And another thing is we have to make sure that we cover all of the walking sounds, or else it's not going to look right. Because it loops twice, we're going to want to make sure that we have the walk sound both times. So we're going to go here, add notify, and since we already have walk sound in, we don't have that walk sound, but we're gonna name it the same thing. We're gonna name it walk sound. Yeah. And that should be good for the walking animation. So we're gonna save. We have it compiled. Now we close out of this. And we're gonna go to running blueprint and do the same thing. So we're gonna rotate it so that we can see our mannequins. See our mannequins running animation. Okay, we're gonna stop. And now we're going to, once their leg hits the ground, right there. We're going to add notify, and we're going to do a new notify, and we're going to call it run sound. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put lands right here, add notify, and now here it is, it's in here now. So we're going to call it run sound. We're going to go to the blueprint here, we're going to save. We're going to go to blueprints. And here we are back in the third person animation blueprint. We're going to go to add and notify effect, run sound. We're going to do the same thing we did here. We're going to hit play, event attached. I'm going to get owning component. We're going to compile it. We're going to save. And now we're going to hit play. So let's see if it works. Oh. That's weird. The problem, I forgot to set the running wood. So be sure you set the running wood asset. You actually make sure you know you set your assets in there and don't be stupid. We're going to hit save, and now we're going to play it again. And you see the running sound effects are synced with the footsteps. Now we're going to do one more. That's for jump. So we're going to head back to FMOD Studio, and we are going to copy this again and rename it to jump wood. So this time I do have a jump sound effect. So we're going to go into the multi-sounds again. We're going to go into Finder, and we will take the 3 jumping sound effects we have and throw them into the jump folder. the jump playlist, sorry. So now this should sound, whoa, that's loud. Now these sounds should be a lot harsher because the character is jumping. We can make them a little louder, and we can lower the pitch for these just a little bit. Cool. The Wood Creek sound effect should now also be really deep. We don't have to worry as much about randomization because the sound effects aren't playing one after the other continuously, but it's still good to focus. It's still good to make sure that it's all, it still sounds sufficiently random enough so the player doesn't catch on. Let's make the Wood Creek much bigger. I think that sounds a little too loud. We could lower the pitch for this even more, honestly. One of these sounds a bit high. That one. Yeah. Sounds pretty good. So I'm going to save. I'm going to build. And we're going to go back into Unreal and go into the, what's most important is the end animation step, because that is, whoa. He is certainly a funny animation. But this is the one we need. So, once the foot hits the ground, thunk. We're going to add a new notify, and we're going to call it jump sound. And we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. We're going to save. We're going to go to the blueprint. And we are going to hit add anim notify effect, jump sound, play event attached, and this time actually select the jumping wood sound effect and get owning component. Now if all this works, compile, we should have a good jumping sound effect. It is not working. Running sound effects are working fine, but our jump sound effect's not working. Why is our jump sound effect not working? Okay. We're going to go into the third person jump animation sequence instead of the jump end sequence. And we are going to line it up where the foot hits the ground. We're going to add notify, do jump sound, and here we have the code for our jump sound event attached. So, if this all works, now we should have a jump sound effect when the character hits the air. There it is. So now we have a decent running sound effect happening. Now, the sound effects sound a bit loud, and that's just because I have them on. I have them as if they're coming from directly, as if the character is standing like directly. If it was like a first-person camera. So the easy way to fix that is to simply lower the master for each one by a little bit, so it sounds like it's coming from farther away.